All right, let's just get right into it. If you're in the tech world at all, you absolutely cannot escape the noise about AI. Is it going to kill all our jobs? Is it the next big thing? What we're going to do today is cut through all those headlines and reframe the entire conversation. We'll look at how embracing AI isn't just about surviving, it's about actually thriving in this next big chapter of tech. You hear this stuff all the time, right? These warnings seem to get louder and louder every single year. You see them on LinkedIn. You hear your colleagues whispering about it. There's this constant drumbeat of anxiety, this real fear that the skills you spent years, maybe even decades building, are just about to be useless. And yeah, this slide, it pretty much nails that feeling. It's the story everyone's telling. But is it the whole story? Well, not exactly. Because here's the reality. Jobs aren't just vanishing, poof, into thin air. They're changing, they're evolving, and honestly, they're evolving incredibly fast. The people who are going to win over the next few years are the ones who see this evolution coming and start making moves now. So the key word isn't disappearance, it's adaptation. So what does that adaptation actually look like? That brings us to our first big idea, this concept of a new hybrid skill set. This is all about what it means to be a pro who can blend the best parts of human creativity with the raw power of machine intelligence. It's not about choosing one or the other, it's about mashing them together into something totally new and way more powerful. And look, this isn't just some vague theory. The World Economic Forum actually put a number on it. They estimate that by 2030, which is not that far away, a staggering 39% of workers will see their core skills change because of stuff like generative AI. I mean, think about that. That is nearly 4 out of every 10 people in the workforce. This is a huge, fundamental shift we're talking about. And this quote from LSC Executive Education, man, it just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly defines this new skill set. See, it's not just about knowing how to write a good prompt for an AI. It's about AI literacy, really understanding the tech's strengths and, just as importantly, its weaknesses. And then you fuse that with the skills that are timelessly human, strategic judgment, creative problem solving. That's the magic combo. And this just goes to show you the basics, the fundamentals, they still matter. Big time. AI is a powerful layer you put on top, but it's not a replacement for a solid foundation. You still gotta know your HTML and CSS. And JavaScript? Oh yeah, that's non-negotiable. A whopping 80% of companies require it. Skills like SQL and knowing your way around the cloud, those are the tools in your toolbox that AI just helps you use faster and better. Which brings us to a really crucial shift in mindset. You've got to start seeing AI as your co-pilot. The right way to think about this isn't that it's your replacement. No way. It's a tool that can take your existing abilities and amplify them, taking you from just being an assistant to being a true force multiplier. And right here, this is the opportunity. As of 2025, about 35% of developers are already using AI tools every single day. That's a lot. But flip that coin, that means 65% are not. There's this huge window open right now for you to get ahead of the pack, to become fluent in these tools, while most of your peers are still kind of sitting on the sidelines. But how you use that copilot, that's everything. Let's talk about Wei Ling for a second, because it's a perfect example of what not to do. She got into the habit of just letting AI write huge chunks of code for her. Sounds great, right? Super efficient. But then she gets into a job interview and bam! They ask her to explain why the code works the way it does, and she couldn't. She completely blanked. The right way is to use AI as your assistant for debugging, for autocomplete, for boilerplate stuff, while you, the human, remain the expert who understands every single line. And you have to remember, these tools are not magic wands. They can, and they absolutely do, generate flat-out wrong code. They can hallucinate, and I'm not kidding. They will literally just make up APIs that don't exist. It's wild. And maybe even worse, they can introduce these tiny, subtle bugs that are a nightmare to track down later. The AI is a great co-pilot, for sure, but you are still the pilot in command. Your critical thinking is the final and most important quality check. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Let's get down to brass tacks. How do you actually build this future-proof skill set? So let's lay out a real, tangible roadmap you can actually follow. Check this out. It's a clear, actionable plan to go from zero to job-ready in about a year. You start with the absolute fundamentals. Then you start building a few simple projects to prove you can actually create something real. Then you start layering on the more complex stuff. This is pretty much the exact path Wei Ling followed. And by the end of that year, boom, she landed a full-time job. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint, but it's a path that works. And once you're ready, this is the gauntlet you're going to face. It's not just one chat. It's a whole series of hurdles. First, you've got the initial screening with a recruiter. Then, they pass you to an engineer who's really going to grill you on the technical stuff. And then, you've got the final boss, the on-site interview loop. Every stage is testing something different, but it all comes down to one simple question. Can you actually solve problems? But here's the thing. Getting that first job, that's just level 1. To really, truly thrive in the long run, you have to start playing the long game. And that means you need to start thinking like the CEO of your own career, making strategic moves that are going to pay off for years and years. Okay, here's a pro tip. You need to ask yourself, am I in a profit center or a cost center? What's the difference? Well, a profit center, like the ads team at Google, directly makes the company money. A cost center, like a legal team, for example, is super necessary, but it costs the company money to run. When you're in a profit center, it is way, way easier to justify a promotion because you can literally point to the money you helped bring in. It's a strategic career choice that most people don't even think about. And then there's the whole vibe of the company itself. Is it peacetime or is it wartime? Peacetime means the company is on top, they're cruising, expanding their empire. Wartime, that means they're in a dogfight, maybe for their very survival. A wartime company moves incredibly fast, takes big risks, and rewards people who can just get things done. Knowing the difference tells you exactly what kind of work is going to get noticed and valued. Which really brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway of all, right here on this slide. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, cares about your career as much as you do. Not your manager, not your coworkers. They're great, but they've got their own stuff to worry about. You are the only person who can dedicate 100% of their focus to your growth. So I'll leave you with this one question. As we wrap this up, it's pretty simple. In this whole new era of AI, are you going to be a passenger, just sitting in the back seat and letting these new technologies take you wherever they happen to be going? Or are you going to grab the controls, be the pilot, and use these tools to steer yourself exactly where you want to end up? The choice is yours.